Hi, welcome to another video on my pneumatic hand robotic arm with compressor and all the tubes and pivot motor. Last time I decided to replace the timing for this pivot motor by a switch which would turn the direction of the pivot around. However, it turned out that it didn't work pretty good. Actually, the performance was just no good. The problem is that like with the other switches, when I start the program, the whole routine is being done and you have to press a switch for some time in order to respond. So with this switch being touched, it is being signaled but not responded on. And let me show how that works. Yes, and here goes again. I have to disengage the motor, engage it again, and there it goes, and it just keeps going. And that doesn't do any good. Everything else works fine. The up and down movement works nicely. Then I press one of the switches on the hand. The compressor starts working. And then you can see that the fingers work fine, but this is just not working well. So I intend to replace this switch by this one. As I said, by this one, and it has a turnaround. It is not ideal, but when I put this wire and this wire in here, this one is the opposite direction of this one. The only downside is that this is a complete stop. So it's not an ideal combination, but least I can do is try. So removing this switch and putting it let's say in here, because this is from the power source. No, it's from the switch anyway, but okay, let's put it in here, see what the difference makes. Then I'll have to take away yes, and that's a good idea, good one, because this is engaging the motor. So what will be the effect when I put it on here? I'll just have to see. So let's try it anyway. Red to red, and this, it's in the resting position, and let's just see what happens, if anything. And of course okay, so I should remove it from, oops, there goes. I should remove it from the input to the motor. So let's do that. Alright, and then see what happens. It's neutral now. This works. And this works. And this is completely neutral. However, since this is a higher thing, I will have to adapt this and see how this is going to work out. So let's first adapt this one. This looks like a nice one. Alright. Then I'll have to adjust this. The question, how do I do that? Probably by replacing this one by something longer. So I'll grab this. This might work. So put sliding this part on it. And let's just see how this works out. Okay, this should be in a position that this one pushes that one there, so it has to be the exact opposite. So let me turn this one around, and I find that here is no connection, which means that I'll have to turn this around. So this has to be like this. Would that help? Not really. No, it won't. That's a good experiment. So this one will probably have to go and be replaced by a metal one. So let's try again. No, it's too strong. So this bends too much and has no force to push this either way. So let's replace it. Alright, so I only have this longer metal rod which have to fit in here. So let's first do that. Alright, that's part one. But then this is now in an angle and it may be better if I put the switch right here. So this corner piece may go. Let me put it here. And then shift it right here. Pushing it a bit up. And then I'm curious what the result will be. So I put this there. And even then it is So what is happening? And here is something that shouldn't be there. However, things seems to be fine. Nicely leveled. So let's keep those parts out. But what does happen is that this one just stops it. So let me take the motor out a little bit, reverse it into here, put the motor back again. And that is not going well. Not going well at all. Okay, now here with the gear is something amiss. It's slipping totally. So why is this slipping? Can't figure it out really. So let me put the camera in a slightly different position. It simply does not have the force to do something. But also I have to think of a different way to do this. And I just think how. Since it can't actually go over it, I have to use two axes, one on one side, one on the other, so it just flips it over. I think that is the best way to handle it. And then I won't have this problem either. So however, since I can't do a rod in here, I have to replace this piece. So with one rod in here on one side and one rod on the other side, it might work, be it not that there is, like here now, a resting position where it doesn't do anything. So let's see how this ends up. So let me do a bit of reconstruction. First I have to remove this. As well as this. Then you can see the difference between these two blocks, and I'm putting this one in here. Then one in here which stays on this side, one on here that stays on this side, and then you already see that this is not going to work immediately, because it should be like more like this. And the clamps on it, both ends. And I'm not even sure this is going to work, but there's only one way to find out. And this may be even a bad solution, because there's hardly any space in it, so, and I need some more for it. Let's do that right now. Putting a small one next to it, so we have a larger distance. Something like this. Will it help? I have no idea. It's to be slightly higher. Okay, so let's find out what it may be like. So why is it not doing anything now? Yeah, it does. It skips it. So a little bit here. Oh, stop. and I'll have to push it back. There you go. No, it skips again a little bit lower. There you go again. This is not good either. Another attempt. Please do something. Okay. This is really experimenting. I have no idea how it ends up. Yeah, and that is to be expected. So it just pushes it into the resting stand where it doesn't do anything. So I need a switch here that will go from one to another without the zero switch position. And I don't have that switch, at least not from fischertechnik, which I would like to use. So, but I know the switch is there. So, from this point, idea is nice, but this is not going to work. I'll have to think again. So, apart from the pivoting switch, which is a wrong model because of the zero position, the up and down movement works quite okay so far. And the hand, I start the compression. This works. That works. And now I hope that the last finger works as well. If not, it can only be an electrical problem. It doesn't do anything, unfortunately, but the rest works. So to summarize this episode, the focus was on the pivoting motor once again, but this time not the motor or the gears, but the switch, and I need another one. But the arm and the hand work fine. So, not really sure how this will continue, but it will, with hopefully a different switch. So, for now, thank you for watching, and to be continued.